All right, everybody. Welcome. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. All right. I want to say hello to everybody who will be checking us out here live. I want to say hello to all my live viewers and all my replay viewers. Welcome in. So, you ladies and gents see it on the screen. All right. We have two foundational Black American women who give the DNC chair, Jaime Harrison, that work. All right. I want to say what's going on, everybody. How you doing? Welcome again to my live viewers and welcome to all the replay viewers. All right. So without no further ado, man, we're going to get this started. This is Black History Minute. Let's go.
And now, here's your Black History Minute.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Black History Minute. All right. Let's just make sure. All right, we good. We're good on the volume. All right, let me see here. Just want to make sure we got everything going good with the volume and the video. All right. So yeah, let's get into it, man. Welcome back to Black History Minute. Okay. And we do past and present, known and unknown Black history facts or Black history information. And this is one of the things that some of you who are on our Black History Minute channel, we are live right now on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm also on two of my personal pages, one on Facebook and one on Twitter. So right now we on 5 different places right now live. Welcome to Black History Minute once again. And we'll be on Black History Minute on Twitch. And if I'm not mistaken, we'll soon be available on Spotify and maybe one or two other places. I got to be able to connect. They won't be live, but there will be Spotify now has the podcast where you can actually upload videos now. So anybody subscribed to Spotify and they're interested in Black history information, we'll be on there pretty soon. And then there's another site that I'll soon will be uploading videos. It's just an upload site, and it won't be a live platform. But if you find any other live platforms, like I said, we'll be on live pretty soon on Twitch too. Outside of that, if there are any other platforms that do show up, we will be on there. All right. So again, welcome everybody to Black History Minute. Probably said it like 3 or 4 times already. All right. Again, we give you the past, the present, Black history facts, information, whether it's known or unknown. So some of you ladies and gentlemen may not know these two ladies. All right. These ladies are oftentimes on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. And these are one of those probably unknown to some, known to others, Black history information. And for those who don't know, there is a movement going on that involves Black Americans, what we also call foundational Black Americans. And Dr. Claude Anderson refers to them as the native Black Americans, meaning that they are the real natives of America, not the Indians that you might know or heard of in school and stuff like that. So we're often known as foundational Black Americans or native Black Americans when you ask Dr. Claude Anderson. And what we're going to get into, we're going to show you about 5 different videos. They're roughly 2 or maybe 2.5 minutes or so, under 3 minutes or less videos. And we're going to lead up to these two ladies here. And again, like I said, there is a movement among foundational Black Americans, those who were able to trace their history and their lineage to show that they go back to Their ancestors, are related to them, and they were ancestors who were in American slavery. All right, and so these ladies are on that list, and it is well known. At one time, Trump even mentioned, I think he's probably the only president that mentioned that Black Americans built this country of United States. All right. That's probably the only president that acknowledged that. And not even Obama said that, if I'm not mistaken. And he's supposedly black, but he's actually a Kenyan, and they say his mom is Jewish, white. So he doesn't fit the Black American or foundational Black American mold. So when some of y'all start understanding why he didn't really do anything for foundational Black Americans, you can kind of understand. Because another thing that's been going on is that there's been this thing when it comes to the Black immigrants that would come over to the country. There still seems to be a lot of tension and a lot of jealousy with, not can't say all, because there are some who get it, who understand, who know the history of Black Americans fighting for everybody else to come to this country when it comes to the same skin color as us, but only to realize that we fought for others to come over, but when they get over here, they have no respect. They have total ignoring of what Black Americans have helped them do, be able to get here. Because there was a time when the government was saying, we don't want no immigrants over here. All right. So they don't want to show that type of respect, and a lot of other things that come with it. And so we're going to get into this. Let me see. The first video, I believe, is this one here. And what it is Jaime Harrison is the DNC chair for the Democratic Party. And for those who may not been having your eyes open or not realizing, there has been a thing going on where Black Americans have been the backbone of the Democratic Party, constantly voting for them over 50, 60 years. And each time, as time goes on, you start noticing a pattern that the Democratic Party has been ignoring Black Americans and been looking out for everybody else, other ethnicities, so on and so forth. And you can see this today in 2023 with my understanding is that Biden is now talking about, or there's talk about, bringing some of the Palestinian refugees over to America. That is yet another slap in the face of Black Americans once again. You're looking out for everybody else. You're looking out for Hispanics, Venezuelans, everybody coming over the border. You giving them places to stay, and you sending them to a lot of these Black neighborhoods. And Chicago is starting to really have enough of it. A lot of Black residents in Chicago is about done with that, with bringing Hispanic immigrants over and putting them in Black neighborhoods. When it comes to the white people, when you try to bring them over there, they're telling them no, they're fighting, and they're doing just that. They're respecting them and not respecting the Black residents, saying, hey, look, it's causing problems. They're causing us harm. They're beating up children. They're doing other types of things. And on top of that, they have a Black mayor there, and the Black mayor is just going along with the script. He's going along with allowing immigrants, actually took a location in one of these Black neighborhoods in Chicago, and moved out all the Black folks that were using this facility for sports and stuff like that, and telling them, you have to leave, and we're going to put them and house them in here. They've been giving them money. You're talking about Chicago, New York. Where else? There was another place. I can't think of it right now. But no, Chicago and New York is definitely two of the places. A couple of other places as well. Giving them housing, giving them money, giving them food. They were housing them in 5-star hotels at one time or another, or still doing it. And in New York, they're starting to notice a rise in tuberculosis ever since they was coming over there. They wasn't having that issue before this started happening. And also, there's a thing where in New York as well, they're starting the immigrants or the illegal aliens are starting to flood the hospitals and overwhelming a lot of these hospitals. And they're trying to get different types of care in these hospitals. So now everything is starting to backtrack on the Democrats, and with Biden on the top of all of this. All right. So we have the DNC chair, a black man named Jaime Harrison. We're going to play these videos, and we're going to save the two ladies for last because I think it just kind of falls in line with what's going on with the videos. And then the ladies speak up. And the reason why I'm doing this Black History Minute on these two ladies, and you'll see more of this in the future, because like I said, we do past and present Black history, known and unknown Black history facts and information, all right? And so I think this belongs in the Black history books. If they don't put it in the Black history books, we're going to put it in our Black history books right here on Black History Minute. All right. So with that being said, let's get to the first video. All right. And again, this is Jaime Harrison. This is the DNC chair. I believe this was in Washington, D.C., Root University or something to that effect. You'll see the video here in a sec. And we're going to listen to him, and I'm going to give some commentary maybe in between or after or a little of both. All right. So with that being said, let's get into this first video.
Safety, a bright future. How to take care and protect my family, but how to take care and protect my loved ones. All of those things are really important. Mobility, to make sure that my family doesn't struggle like my grandparents struggled, or how I struggled when I was growing up. And so that means that the Democratic Party has to make sure that in its messaging, that it's addressing that fear, it's addressing that frustration, and we're speaking specifically to the individuals about that and how we have a plan to address this.
All right, excuse me about that. I turned the mic off, but I'm gonna stop here. What is he doing? What he's doing is they're preparing for 2024, and there's a lot of black people in the audience, and not all the seats are not filled. This is the Root Institute, as you guys see on the screen, and Jaime Harrison is trying to convince these black folks, those who showed up, and is trying to tell them and convince them that, hey, the Democrats, we got to show you guys that we really want to stick there for you, and we want to be there for you, and we want to take care of you. So he was sent out pretty much to try to convince the black people. And I just want to point out a couple of things, and we'll play the video, continuing with the video. You notice his body language and his mannerisms, all right, along with the words that he's using, okay? Along with the words that he's using. And you'll notice that there will be a pattern with not only him, but you'll watch other blacks in the Democratic Party. Raphael Warnock is one of them, that if you, and Stacey Abrams is another, if you start noticing them, watch them, they'll have roughly the same talking points, the same body languages, the hand movements, the way they do things, and try to get you to feel a certain way. You got to learn these things because there's all a bunch of games in play. All right. And they'll use the same talking points roughly. They might change a few words in between them personally, but it's always going to fall along the lines of a script type speech. And they all do the same thing. And it's every 4 years when it comes to trying to run for president. They'll send the black folks out mostly. Every now and then they'll send some white folks out trying to send them to the black churches. But they'll send the black people out and always try to get your vote. They always want your black vote when it comes to foundational black Americans, but they never seem to want to do anything for them. And that we're seeing this in real time. They want to do everything for everybody else. All right. So I just wanted to point that out, and we'll continue playing this right quick.
I don't think you can see black men go to the Republican Party because the policy initiatives are in line. Because it's not. Yeah, Donald Trump didn't do anything that I see, and this is not me being overly partisan, but he helped the brothers that I know who I grew up with in Orangeburg, South Carolina. We have seen that, hell, he doesn't give a damn about those things. But what I think they are attracted to is the fact that you have somebody who has the strength to stand up and speak forcefully about what they believe in, even if they don't agree with what that person believes in, right? So the Democratic Party has to be as forceful to stand up and speak for the things that we believe in, so that folks see that they know that we are actually going to roll up our sleeves and fight for you. Just like you go to the polls and faithfully vote and support, we have to make sure that we are going, when we're negotiating policies, that we're not going to negotiate on the backs of black men and black women. That we're actually going to stand up for them like they stand up for us. And so that's the thing that I'm really, really focusing a lot on. One of my top priorities as chair as we go into this election cycle is making.
All right, so there you have it on that one. Again, he was trying to convince the black people in the audience, and I guess he probably knows that this video might go and be played other places. So it's also maybe an attempt to gather the minds of other black people who may come across this video. And as he said in this particular video, he was saying that, hey, we got to show that we're going to fight for you guys the same way you came to the polls and voted for us. We got to show that we're going to stand up and fight. But why does every time this comes up, every year or so, this same talking points occurs over and over and over, right? The same talking points over and over, the same types of trying to convince you over and over and over. I guarantee for those who haven't seen this video with the two ladies, you don't want to miss this, all right? Because it's going to all come in and lock in together, okay? So you've seen this video here. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and play the next video of Jaime Harrison, doing some more talking, all right? So let me go ahead and pull that up real quick here. All right. And we're going to hear and listen to this one. I appreciate y'all coming in, those who are watching us live right now. Thank you for coming in to Black History Minute. All right, so let's play this next video.
Really, a lot of folks, and we're not waiting until next year. I started doing that, and we're doing it during midterms, and we haven't stopped. We're going to continuously move forward, and we have to prove ourselves that we really do believe what we say. I often tell folks, it's not about telling you, but it's about showing you. Actions speak a whole lot more than words. And so, I think the president, and I would love to talk a little bit about how this president and Democrats have worked hard to demonstrate their support. Now, it's not to say that we've been able to do everything that we want to do. There's been a lot of blockage in terms of that as well. But even when there's been blockage, we found some ways to get around some of that stuff. And so, love to chat a little bit about that too.
Yeah. No, thank you. I think we're.
All right, so that's the second video. All right, that's the second video. You heard what he said. And I tried to enhance these videos because originally they were a little bit low on the volume. So hopefully you guys are able or have been able to listen what Jaime Harrison has been saying. Again, all this is trying to convince black people to come on and vote Democrat. Y'all been doing it for so long now. We got to try to convince you and make you believe that, hey, we're going to really do something for you this time. We really want to show you, hey, our actions, we got to make sure our actions speak louder than words. Our actions got to speak louder than words. Like that's supposed to really convince you guys and make you feel like, yeah, okay, well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. And yeah, and really work folks up to voting Democrat. All right. And so, with that being said, we're gonna play this last one of Jaime Harris. And yeah, no further ado, let's play that video.
We got some more time. Okay, great.
Well, can I run the tape?
Then I would love for you to run the tape, please.
Because you often get, and I get all the time, as chair. What is this administration government? And I would run the tape. You just think about where we were 2020, right? We had a president in the White House who every day preached hatred, fear, and division. And 80 million of us stood up and doubled down.
I'm taking questions.
80 million. And this president and vice president didn't just say, well, we appreciate your support, and now we're going to sit on our hands not do anything. They started doing stuff. The American Rescue Plan, because remember, the first round.
Okay, he said that the president and vice president said they're going to start doing things, right? Or they started doing things for the appreciation of being voted in the office, right? And maybe next week or the week before or the week after that, I'm going to be doing a video, not on this channel here, but you guys should be able to check out, and YouTube specifically, you should be able to see my other channels. And one of them is a news channel. One of them is a podcast channel. One of them is like a tour, like a travel channel, if you will. But on the podcast channel, it's called Thoughts of the Week Podcast. I'm going to be doing a live in regards to what Biden has or hasn't done for Black people specifically. All right. Going in, paralleling what he's saying here. All right. So you guys might want to go ahead and subscribe to that channel as well, because we talk about other things. And this is just strictly the Black History channel right here, Black History Minute, to be specific. So let's continue. I put it back up just a little bit, and let's continue playing this video.
And this president and vice president didn't just say, well, we appreciate your support, and now we're going to sit on our hands not do anything. They started doing stuff. The American Rescue Plan, because remember, the first round of PPP loans during COVID, there were, who got, David and I are Lakers fans. The LA Lakers got a PPP loan. But there were barbershops and beauticians and funeral homes and so many Black businesses that could not get a PPP.
All right, let me go back a little bit. I want you guys to hear that now. I want y'all to hear what he said. Okay. Let me play this again here.
The LA Lakers got a PPP loan.
He's talking about PPP loans, all right? Black folks, he's talking to y'all about PPP loans, all right?
But there were barbershops and beauticians and funeral homes and so many Black businesses that could not get a PPP loan. One, now we're going to sit on our hands not do anything. They started doing stuff. The American Rescue Plan, because remember, the first round of PPP loans during COVID, there were, who got, David and I are Lakers fans. The LA Lakers got a PPP loan. But there were barbershops and beauticians and funeral homes and so many Black businesses that could not get a PPP loan. One, the banks wouldn't even give them to them. And so this president and vice president said, well, we're going to change that. Many of the PPP loans in the American Rescue Plan went to Black and brown businesses to make sure that they.
All right. I hope y'all caught that. I'm not going to keep going back and forth, but he said Black and brown people. That is another discussion in itself, but I'm going to be real brief on that in regards to this as well. Now, the brown people are supposed to be the Hispanics. That's what he's talking about. And I just told y'all that how they're letting all the Hispanics in, and now they talk, and the brown people are also considered the Palestinians, the Arabs, those who are not Black people, but their skin is a little dark, kind of in that brown hue, that realm of brown. All right. So that's what he's talking about. And you see what's being done for them. You've seen what's being spoken about getting done for them. Again, I mentioned the Palestinian refugees. Now there's talk about having a bunch of them come over to America. They keep loading everything up with all these folks, but they're not taking care of the people that already built this country and already here in their home. All right. Isn't there a scripture somewhere that says about not taking care of the people in your own house and being worse than an infidel? I'm just going to leave it at that. All right. So let's continue playing that.
Making sure that we had vaccines available, cutting childhood poverty in half. I wish we would have continued the effort on in terms of the child tax credit because it had a huge benefit. Cut childhood poverty by half in the way. We saw that debt, capital debt for HBCUs was wiped out in its entirety. Some of these colleges have been carrying that debt for decades, wiped out in its entirety. Over $7 billion with a big going to our historically black colleges and universities. Making sure that we kept the pensions alive for many of our folks. Making sure that we worked and did something for black farmers. Now, the Republicans went and sued us in the courts, but this president went. One of his first initiatives was work to make sure that there was equity for black farmers. We look at the infrastructure bill, making sure there's equity in terms of infrastructure in our communities, getting rid of the lead pipes that we've been drinking out of for decades, making sure that took place, making sure that we brought broadband into the communities that we all live in.
All right, so there you go on that. That was the third one. We're gonna get into the ladies right here in a minute. And another thing to pay attention to is the wording, because again, I said they always talk in the scripts. Raphael Warnock has used the word equity as well, and others. They're never real specific on wording, or they're specific. They always have to involve not only black, they got to involve brown. Black and brown. You're going to hear that a lot if you haven't already heard it. Black and brown, black and brown, black and brown. All right. So they can't do anything specific for Black Americans, but you can do something specific for Afghanis. You could do something specific for Hispanics. You could do something specific for Palestinian refugees, so on and so forth, but just never nothing specific for Black American people, right? And you see what's going on today. So with that being said, we're going to play the first video of our foundational Black American woman. And they're going to, I guess they heard enough, or maybe they started doing the questioning or whatever. And they're going to go in on this guy. All right. And this is what the Black History Minute is all about. We want to put these ladies into Black history. If it's not going to be in the books, we're going to put them here in video form. All right. So here we go. We're going to play this first video.
We need an anti-Black crime bill. We have just witnessed in Jacksonville a white supremacist shoot down 3 people for the sake just simply because they were Black. Subsequent to that, there was another thwarted attempt at a church, right, that was thankfully thwarted, where they wanted to kill Black people in a church. This is literally our life in our world. Within the past 30 days, then up in the Cape, up in Massachusetts, we got young white supremacists sitting up there trying to drown a teenage Black boy in a pond and yelling George Floyd. So we have a real problem. The DNC needs to give us an anti-Black criminal bill. It's extremely serious. Let's reel it back. Let's take it back to Buffalo. Everybody's being shot in Buffalo. No, hold on. In Buffalo, we died. We died in Buffalo, but we got an anti-Semitism bill. What is the DNC doing about anti-Blackness in this country? What are you talking about?
Good question.
No, I don't lay it down. What are we doing? We need to do something about lineage-based reparations, and we need to do something about anti-Black crime. You are the DNC. You have the power of the DNC. We don't see it. Joe Biden said he had our back, but what we're seeing is that he's stabbing us in the back.
Respectfully disagree with you.
I respectfully. Well, you need to respectfully go to the drawing board. Look at the current events. Look at what's going down in the national media. We're getting killed.
Well, and listen,
they're drowning. The Cape 2 weeks ago. You want to drown a teenager in a white supremacist, a young one too. They're being breeded. You want to get them drowned for everybody's trying to act like anti-Blackness doesn't exist. And on top of that, right here on this university, the Freedmen Center, we're talking about the freedmen. We're talking about the descendants of U.S. chattel slavery, known as freedmen and the Negro. When is the DNC going to do something for the Negro?
All right. So yeah, this sister went on in and broke it all the way down. And notice that he started giving pushback when she started talking about, hey, doing something for Black Americans specifically. Look at all the stuff that's happening to us. Look at all the stuff that's happening to our people up there in Massachusetts. Some white supremacist kids are jumping on some black boys. So they're breeding young boys, these white boys, they're breeding them into this behavior. All right. And things keep happening. She brought up the Tops supermarket issue in Buffalo. All right. And she was making her points. And so this is what Black Americans do. They stand up. They've been standing up. Even during slavery times, there's been plenty of revolts in America. A lot of people hear about revolts in Haiti and Jamaica, but they keep the secrets about Black Americans in America. They keep that a secret. All right. And so we want to showcase and let you know and see this has been in our DNA from the beginning. All right. And this is one lady who has showed an example of that. All right. And so now, with that being said, we're going to get into the second video of another foundational Black American woman. And for those who might not have a stomach for bad language, you might just want to turn it off. Maybe you want to listen to it later. If you have kids and you don't like them to hear it, foul language, because there'll be a little bit of foul language here on the video. Just a little bit. You might want to let your kids leave the room, or you might want them to see it. I don't know. All right. But the imagery of showing Black people, Black Americans, specifically foundational Black Americans standing up, is what we need to constantly continue to show. All right. We need to continue showing that, because the media and other platforms, social media platforms, don't want that to be shown. They always want to show Black Americans always taking the L and being mistreated. That's cool for them to show on social media, but now standing up, they never want that to be shown. So we're going to showcase it here. So with that being said, let's get into the second video. Again, the second lady is going to be using a little bit of foul language towards the end. If you're I don't know what word to use. If you don't like it, you might want to turn this part off, and maybe you want to look at it on your own. If you have kids, you might want to, if you don't want them to hear it and you want to see it for yourself, you might want to watch it later, or tell your kids to go in another room. It's just a little bit. No, not really too much of it. All right. I think it's towards the end. So let's get into the second lady here. All right. Let's roll that video.
But only talk to Black people about voting. And that's what you're doing up in here today. Pandering for votes to all of these students up in here. You're sitting on your hands, literally, and then you're going to be disrespectful and walk off the stage. But you won our vote. Sir, we've been voting for 60 fucking years, and we haven't gotten a damn thing from you, or Joe Biden, or Kamala Harris. We haven't gotten anything. Sir, what? No, because I'm mad as hell, sir. 16 years we've been voting. What have we got other than being at the bottom class? And this clown here is gonna sit up here and give us this Baptist preacher antic show, and we might see, but I hope you're not buying into that bullshit. I really hope you're not buying into it. Because that is fucking disgusting and disrespectful. And come up here and charge you guys for coming in here to see this shit show. And then not only that, you guys being charged again off the two Christians. Do you know that? I'm pretty sure you don't. So with that being said, I seriously hope that you guys don't go to the poll and vote for no more of these fuckers that sit in office ain't doing a damn thing for us. But these legals getting $7,000 in DHS. Did sir. 16 years we've been.
All right. So she really broke it down so hard that Jaime Harrison got up and walked off. He couldn't take it no more. All right. So a lot of Black Americans are not playing. And on top of that, those who are not really knowing what's going on, other Black Americans are showing other Black Americans and trying to educate them and put them on a little game as to what's going on out here. All right. So this lady really broke it down and made this guy get up and leave. He couldn't take it no more. He couldn't take it. She really gave him that work. All right. Both of the ladies gave him that work. All right. So there you have it. Another Black History Minute. Of course, we're probably doing it. We did it in 36 minutes. And that's how our lives are going to go a lot of times. You know, it's going to take more time than our normal Black History Minute videos that you guys have been enjoying and are enjoying. All right. I want to salute these ladies here. All right. Salute to these ladies. They gave that guy some work. And again, we're not going to take all the nonsense anymore. Anywhere they're going to have these conventions and these rallies and these talks and these town hall meetings, you guys, the Democrats and Republicans too, if it need to be, you're going to start expecting Black Americans to be there, and they're going to give you that work. It's that simple. All right. Like the lady said, we've been going and voting for so many years and not really paying attention because a lot of people been lulled to sleep. All right. A lot of people been lulled to sleep. And, you know, with Obama being in, everybody kind of fell asleep and went along. And now it's coming out that he didn't do a whole lot of things he didn't do for Black people, Black Americans. A lot of people, all the information is starting to come out now, or been coming out for a little while. And notice how you don't really see him out and about as much either. That's because he knows what he didn't do for Black folks, but he did stuff for LGBT people, the DACAs, again, Hispanic people. Everybody's always constantly doing stuff for other people, but Black Americans get the crumbs, the slavery crumbs, if you will. All right. So there is a movement of foundational Black Americans, or like Dr. Claude Anderson would say, Native Black Americans, who are really the real natives of the U.S. There's been a movement now where Black Americans are saying, we're delineating, we're not going for it no more. We're not going to constantly keep standing up for everybody, and nobody's doing nothing for us. So as this continues, there'll be more and more Black people, Black Americans waking up. And of course, there are some Black immigrants that know what's up. They know the history about Black Americans fighting for them. And then there's some that don't know, or they know and don't care. You have, unfortunately, Black immigrant parents who've told their kids that don't hang with those Black Americans. They're nothing. They steal, they rob, they want to have sex all the time. They don't do this and that, and totally showing disrespect. All right. And then there's some of the kids who are telling, hey, that's what our parents used to tell us. All right. So I want to salute these two ladies. Hold on. Let's put the other lady back up too. Salute to these ladies right here. They've been standing up, and there's plenty of others out there as well. So don't get it twisted. Black Americans are not playing the games no more. We've been standing up for everybody else, and nothing is being done. And you see it in real time. So you can't be saying, I don't believe that. I don't think that's true. And It's happening in your face right now. For those who are Black Americans and you're really not understanding what the movement is about, they're doing everything in your face right now. All right. Right as you speak. So you can't go, I don't believe that. I don't see that really happening. Okay. Keep being blinded. But you're going to start noticing things among you and your family. Things are not being done for you. And you see things being done for others constantly. And you'll still stand there with your hands over your eyes. I don't believe that's true. And I don't think that's what's going on. Okay. But we're putting you on game. All right. Again, so salute to these ladies, man. I appreciate y'all for coming in to Black History Minute. And yeah, we're gonna just go on and get on out of here, man. All right. This is another Black History Minute. Next month, we're going to be going. I probably should have done this in reverse, but this was so recent. I said, man, I got to go ahead and do this right now while it's still fresh. Keep the momentum going. Keep the spirit of standing up, and not, allowing these folks to constantly put us on the bottom cast of everybody else of other ethnicities. All right. And so next week, as you guys see on the bottom of your screen, not next week, but next month, we're going to get into the Montgomery, Alabama Riverboat Revolt. Some people say brawl. I'm going to say Riverboat Revolt. All right. This is Black History Minute. We'll see you again. And there will be some more Black History Minute videos coming pretty soon. All right. You're going to enjoy those. Be sure to subscribe to Thoughts of the Week podcast. Like I said, there's a couple of lives I'm going to be doing there. One of them is going to be about Biden and what has he done for Black Americans specifically. Not doing something that's going to kind of semi-benefit Blacks but benefit other people, but specifically, all right? So with that being said, thank you guys again. Thank you for the replay viewers and the live viewers. To all the replay viewers, the replay starts now.
And now, here's your Black History Minute.